What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and the Kenobi series is off to a phenomenal start. I really enjoyed the first 3 episodes, and I really enjoyed episode 3. We got Vader versus Kenobi. Now, granted, it wasn't a Kenobi at full strength. That might actually be why Vader decided not to kill Obi-Wan in that moment, but that's the scene we're going to be talking about today. We saw Vader torture Obi Wan Kenobi in episode 3. He literally used the Force to control his body and drag him through flames. Now, at the end, why didn't Vader finish the job? Why didn't Vader put the fire out with the Force like he previously did minutes before? That's the question that we're going to address today, and I have 3 possible explanations of why Vader decided not to kill Obi-Wan at that moment, and they all could actually be true simultaneously. So, if you're into Star Wars, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Star Wars videos. I'll be doing a lot more. So the first one seems to be the most just blatantly obvious reason of why Vader decided not to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi in that moment, and that is because he was just toying with him. Vader can realize and has realized that Obi-Wan Kenobi is now terrified of him. And that's what the first couple of episodes set up, as well as episode 3 as well. We can see that Obi-Wan Kenobi is haunted. He is haunted by the past of Anakin Skywalker and now Darth Vader. And he didn't know that he was alive, but now he does. So Obi-Wan Kenobi spent the last 10 years thinking about his young Padawan, the person that he trained, and thinking about how he turned to the dark side. He is a Sith Lord now. How did that happen? He has to be going through his thoughts going, what could I have done differently to possibly prevented this and kept Anakin on the right side of the Force, right? On the light side, being a Jedi. Plus, Anakin was supposed to be the chosen one. That's got to eat at him as well. That's really got to eat at him. But Vader knows all of this, and Vader can see that Obi-Wan Kenobi, this is not the same Obi-Wan. This is not the Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is a Kenobi who has not really done anything relating to being a Jedi in 10 years, and he's now weak, like Darth Vader actually says during the episode, and Vader just tosses him around like he's nothing. And now, Vader knows that he could beat him very easily. But like he said, he wants to torture him, and he actually said it in the episode. He said, this is just the beginning. This is just the start of his torture. He wants to get back at him. So using the Force to bring him into the flames, that was pretty intense. That was pretty intense, and that's just the start. Well, the way I see it is Vader let him go. Yes, Vader could have used the Force to remove the fire. We saw him do that. Yes, Vader could have used the Force to simply grab him. We just watched him walk through a street, right? And just snapping younglings' necks. That hasn't changed yet, has it? Jeez. From Order 66 to this, I mean, geez. Yeah, and just controlling people, dragging them down the street, using the Force just to do whatever he wants. Of course, he could have grabbed Obi-Wan. Of course, he could have grabbed Tala. He could have done whatever he wanted to. He let him get away on purpose. Why? To torture him some more in his mind, mentally. He's living rent-free in his head right now. Obi-Wan is scared, and he knows Vader's going to be coming for him. So yeah, Vader really wants to torture him. He's not going to do it just physically. Of course, that's part of his plan, but he's going to do it mentally too. And I think this was a part of that mental torture plan. Now, the second reason, a reason that I actually really like of why Vader let him live is because Vader wants to fight Obi-Wan at full strength. Vader doesn't want to defeat this Obi-Wan Kenobi who hasn't been a Jedi in 10 years. He wants to beat the Jedi Master, the person that trained him, the person that he blames for everything happening. He wants to beat him as he was. He wants to beat him at full strength. There's not much joy in just crushing somebody with that much ease because Vader just tossed him around. That could be the reason why he let him go, because he knows he's going to go. He knows he's going to train more. He knows Qui-Gon Jinn's probably going to show up and give him a good pep talk and, tell him some good ways of the Force. Whatever it may be, we know Obi-Wan's going to come back from this. He may look at Leia and go, oh my gosh, she's in trouble again because Reva got her, and now I have to train. Now I have to be the Jedi. I have to come back. We know that's going to happen, and that might be what Vader actually wants, to fight him at full strength, to have that satisfaction of knowing, like, yeah, I killed Obi-Wan. I killed Jedi Master Obi-Wan. Not this guy who, I just tossed around and grabbed and who didn't even attack me. He simply barely defended himself with a lightsaber that he hadn't picked up in 10 years. Vader doesn't want that, and that could be a reason that he actually let him live. And this could be combined with the torture. In all honesty, they could both be very real, and I think they both are. But the third one gets kind of deep. So this third one is kind of deep, and it's kind of like Moon Knight here. The third theory is that Anakin is actually the reason why Vader let Obi-Wan go. It's kind of like a Moon Knight situation here. You got Mark Spector, and you got Stephen Grant, and you got Moon Knight. But we're going to keep it just to Vader and Anakin. Somewhere inside of Vader, I think, is still that little boy who Obi-Wan trained. And it could be a scared little boy. Now, I think there are multiple sides of this. Now, Anakin could still feel somewhat of, empathy, sympathy, whatever you want to call it, towards Obi-Wan. He could still care about him because, again, it is the person who trained him. It is the person who he called his brother. They definitely loved each other. I mean, we think about that final scene with Obi-Wan, of course. There could still be some feelings for Obi-Wan, good feelings for Obi-Wan left inside of Anakin, right? Vader's the hateful one, the fearful one, the revengeful one. That's Vader, but maybe a little bit of Anakin came out there. Now, you can also flip that. You can also say that Anakin might be that scared little boy, right? Because, again, think about that last scene. Think about what Obi-Wan did to him. Think about that torture that Vader was talking about that took place on Mustafar. Like, his whole body lit into flames after having his limbs cut off. And Obi-Wan did that kind of with ease. Yes, he had the high ground. Yes, Anakin missed school that day and didn't learn about the high ground. But you think about that scene, it's just a quick little boom. Next thing you know, he's only got one arm left, and he's trying to crawl up, but he catches on fire, and Obi-Wan thought he died, and he found out he didn't. But that scars you physically for sure, as we saw in the beginning of episode 3, but mentally that scars you. So there could be somewhat of a paralyzation there, right? That could have caused him just to go, I'm just going to let him go for now. Like, am I truly ready to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi? That could have been going through his head right there, and he could have just had some fear. Now, ultimately, Vader is Vader, and I know Vader wants to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, I know that, but I'm just thinking that maybe there is a small part that is the Anakin side of Darth Vader. Like Padme said, there is still some good in him, and we know that. We know there's some good in him. We see it, right? In future movies, we see it. So maybe just a tiny bit. Now, I do think it's probably a combination of the three of them. If anything, probably the combination of the first two. One, Vader was toying with him. I think that's pretty obvious because he could have killed him very easily. Two, Vader wants him at his full strength because is there much fun for Vader in just beating somebody that is just so easy? Probably not. And there's also that sense of pride of beating the Jedi Master that trained you, right? I think there's a little bit of that going on as well. So let me know what you think about all of these theories. Do you think it's one of them? Do you think it's a few of them? Do you think it's none of them? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you have theories of your own. Be sure to like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars content. For live updates, you can always follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.